General Colin Powell, George W. Bush's Secretary of State, finds himself now smack dab in the middle of the race for the White House. This after hacked email shows that he doesn't think highly of Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. In fact, in one email he wrote, quote, "Everything HRC touches, she kind of screws up with hubris," referring to Clinton's handling of her email scandal and other high-priced speeches. In a separate email, Powell pontificated about the pros and cons of a Hillary presidency, writing, quote, "I would rather not have to vote for her, although she is a friend I respect, a 70-year-old person with a long track record, unbridled ambition, greedy, not transformational, with a husband still bleeping bimbos at home." And Powell, who identifies as a Republican despite endorsing Barack Obama twice, called Trump, quote, an international pariah. He called him a national disgrace as well, and wrote that the Republican nominee appeals to the worst angels of the GOP, nature and poor white folks. Joining me now to discuss, Michael Maslansky, Gina Loudon, and Mercedes Schlapp. Mercedes, if he said this on purpose on a mic in the middle of a field, we would give him a non-PC Man of the Year award, but he didn't. Nevertheless, it reveals a lot. It's got a little bit of something for everyone in there.
Well, two things. One is it's the uncensored Colin Powell. And two is you need to be very careful, Charles, what you put on an email, okay? Because you never know when the hacker near you will be getting your email, access to your emails. You know, just listening to Colin Powell, someone who is a distinguished Secretary of State, so a Republican, he did endorse Obama, but a longstanding Republican. Getting access to what he really thinks is actually quite disturbing, because it just shows that just the pure honesty and his true feelings about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, but also the fact that there is a sense of him being part of that Republican elitist not willing to accept Donald Trump and really pushing him aside as being a national disgrace.
You know, Gina, also, of course, he did reveal that the Clintons and Obamas aren't, there's no love lost there, which I thought was also interesting.
Yeah, I think there was a lot that was revealing about this. I found it fascinating that this man who, don't forget, as Mercedes said, voted for Obama in both 2008 and 12, called himself in these emails a friend of Hillary's. If this is how he thinks of his friends, as greedy, as a con artist, he called her. He said he isn't even sure she understood what was going on in her own basement with her illegal server. These are some serious convictions that this friend of hers, who voted for her friend Obama in 2008 and 12, or her frenemy, whatever he was, you know, these are some serious convictions. But I think that it speaks to the character and the doubts that many Americans are already having about Hillary and her illegal server and her honesty with the American people.
You know, also, Michael, though, you know, much has been made about the unfavorability ratings for both of these candidates. And, you know, it feels like to a degree Colin Powell was representative of that, that you've got a lot of people, for whatever reasons, you know, have a high unfavorable thinking for both of these candidates. How did we get to this position?
Well, I think, first of all, this is exactly what this campaign is all about. There are a lot of people in different states around the country who are going to decide this election, and they're choosing between somebody that they're inclined to vote for, but don't feel like they can because they really don't respect or don't like things about him. It's happening on both sides of the aisle. It will determine who wins. I think we got here because somehow we ended up with these two candidates that are actually, in many ways, mirror images of themselves in terms of each other in terms of their faults. They both have so much more to dislike about them than they do to like about them. And we end up in an election cycle where this is all about who we vote against.
Will Colin Powell's comments have an impact on the election?
No.
They won't matter at all?
No. I mean, I think that they just reflect what a lot of people feel already, but I don't think that they have any real impact.
Gina, you agree with that? Colin Powell no longer really influential. He hasn't endorsed either candidate so far.
Well, I think if there is anything legitimate about what Colin Powell said is that he spoke to the character of Hillary Clinton. He basically reflected the never-Trumper narrative, which isn't really surprising for someone that I don't think I'd classify as a Republican at all anymore after he voted for Obama twice in a row. And so yeah, if he has any impact, I would say that sort of consecrating that belief that there's something really fishy and untrustworthy about Hillary Clinton.
Mercedes, what do you see is going from here? I mean, would anybody be brave enough to pick pick any of these up for a campaign ad, or both camps saying, hey, let this one just fade away?
I think it's a bit radioactive. So my guess is that both campaigns will probably stay away from it. Colin Powell is sort of that insider Washington, which I know that Trump is running far away from. And I think it doesn't obviously help Hillary Clinton, too, because there's so much tension between Powell and Clinton right now.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the hubris part, though, I think this is the one word.
And the dumb part.
Yeah, that really sticks, though, to a candidate who a lot of people feel like, the Clintons feel like they're above everyone when it comes to every aspect of life, including the law. All three of you guys, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.